Thank you so much for joining us online, watching our video to discuss our online Bachelor of Arts in Organizational Leadership program. Today, we'll be discussing the overview of the program, some highlights, the process to get enrolled as one of our students, and why you should choose the University of Cincinnati Online. Our presenters today are going to be Dr. Nancy Rogers, who is our program director, Dr. Sean Owens, who is a professor within the program, as well as myself. My name is Jared Fain. I am an enrollment service advisor who works with the program. Our agenda for today will be to discuss our program highlights, why to choose the University of Cincinnati Online, a curriculum overview, a direct overview coming from the professors within the program, our admission requirements and application process, as well as deadlines to apply for the program and when classes will begin, and discuss tuition and financial aid information that should hopefully be useful for you whenever you're making a decision.
Yeah, one of the great things about this program, the BA in Organizational Leadership, is that we have some of the best faculty in the world. We have people who have been consultants, people who come from real estate, people who come from training and development. You're going to get some of the best top-notch quality answers, theory, personal practices from the faculty. They're going to tell you what's actually working right now in industry, and they're going to be here to help you every step along the way, answer the tough questions, tell you how it really works, how you can really implement this in a real organization. That's one of the great things about our faculty. They have experience. They come from a wealth of a breadth of industries, and so we know how to make this organizational leadership degree work in just about every industry out there.
Yeah, and piggybacking off of that, this is a program that you will experience start to graduation support. So from the initial inquiry where you were reaching out to try to gain some information and beginning the application to the program, you will work with an enrollment service advisor such as myself throughout the full application process. And then from the point that you're looking to enroll until the point that you graduate, you will have a support system known as Student Success Coordinator who's going to be with you along the way, that's going to help you out with all of your classes, figure out what classes you need to schedule for your upcoming semester, as well as what textbooks you're going to need, and just be there for you so that you know that you have that support system that and that one-on-one approach throughout your entire time here with UC Online.
Yeah, and so it's the flexible scheduling option is really nice too, because while this program mirrors exactly the courses that are offered in person, it's really targeted to busy professionals. And so some of you really can't participate full time. You can't take, or maybe next semester it's just too busy, take one, go part-time. And so you can do this. And the nice thing too is that all the courses are planned. So you know which courses are going to be offered which semester. And so if you're going to miss this semester for conflict resolution, you know it's going to show up again in the summer.
If you're the adult student who is in their career field and you need to get to that next level, or you really want to learn how to lead people, then this is the degree program for you.
Organizational leadership, to me, probably one of the best, most useful majors on campus. We really feel like we prepare students for future jobs in really any field, because every field needs leaders.
We hear it said all the time that people are the most important asset in any organization. Learning how to lead people is the most important thing.
Think about it this way. The people that get promoted in engineering are the engineers with people skills. So sometimes what we'll see is engineers come over because they know the importance of those people skills.
We've spent a lot of time making sure that our courses specifically work with you and give you the skill set that you're going to need to go into any organization and be successful.
It's a great major for people who want to apply what they're learning in the workforce. So most of our online students are already working full time. So the things that they're learning in our classes, they'll be able to apply at the workplace.
What makes this program completely unique is that we're housed in the Department of Psychology. So we are looking at the aspect of how psychology plays a role in the area of leadership. When you graduate with this degree from UC Online in organizational leadership, you're going to learn how to inspire your team. You're going to learn how to make your team innovative, creative. We're always looking at how can we pull from your current position and make the assignments real.
Because you really are working with peers. People are really experienced, they're interested, they're thoughtful. So these are your fellow classmates. You will learn a lot just from them. You get to reflect on the things that you're learning in your life as you go. To me, this is a major about you and about the ways that you can grow in your careers.
If you're a home
Yeah, you know, Nancy, you touched a little bit on conflict resolution and sometimes our flexible schedules. I think one of the great things about the classes and the courses that we offer when in the organizational leadership program is amazing. We cover, as you can see on the screen, a plethora of courses that really cover just about every industry. And in the video, you mentioned about having those great people skills, because that's what you want. And that's exactly what we teach. We teach that, especially in the Foundations of Leadership course. That's the course where you're going to learn your leadership style, how you lead, why it's important to lead that way, and why it's important to stay authentic in that way, because that's what your team, that's what your group is going to learn to expect from you at all the ways, at all the steps along the way. Another course that's amazing is the leading in the diverse workplace. This is where we are currently. Everyone has to be aware of all your DEI, or your JEDI, or your DEIB initiatives. In this class, we take an organizational snapshot, both of an organization that we work in, as well as an organization that we would aspire to work in. And you see how their DEI, how they are working, what initiatives are out there, maybe some cool ideas, some things we never thought of, some concepts we never even envisioned. And we're going to take those snapshots and say, hey, how can we improve our current organization if we know that other organizations are moving in this direction? And then the last thing I think that's a really cool place is a really cool course is our organizational leadership in the law. In this course, you're going to learn about what the legal aspects are of how you build your team, how to hire, how to reprimand, how to terminate, understanding gender and diversity, what are the laws and how they affect you as a leader, and some of the decisions you have to make. And sometimes we always wonder, why can't we make decisions so quick? Well, sometimes there's this thing called the law, and it prevents us from moving in such a fast way. And so we have to take our time and understand, what are the laws out there? How do they help us? And then as a leader, how does that play a role in how you build your team?
Yeah, you make some great points, Sean. You know, I think I look at this list and I think, well, these really are interesting courses. I think the one that probably intimidates many students is research methods and statistics. And, you know, these are courses that thousands of students have passed before. And, you know, it's really an important foundational course for just being able to be a critical consumer of information. So you know how to really interpret data and report on it and use it in intelligent ways. The other question we get a lot about is, what is this capstone? Well, you know, the capstone would be like your senior thesis, but I got to watch about our graduating students present their capstone projects yesterday, and I was so impressed. So students did things like work projects. Maybe they designed a book, a standard operating procedure, or a hiring handbook, training handbook. Some people were fundraising or developing new workshops for where they work. And so I would call the capstone a stretch assignment where you work that you can do to demonstrate what you've learned and how you can make an impact on the business.
And jumping over real quick, I will discuss the admission requirements for students that are looking to enroll in our online Bachelor of Arts in Organizational Leadership program. If you're a first-year student, meaning that you've never attended college at all, coming straight out of high school with your GED, depending upon your situation, you would be looking to apply as a first-year student. The basic requirements for admission to this program are if you have a 2.7 unweighted GPA or a 2.9 weighted GPA. Now, the difference between unweighted and weighted is a whole different conversation that I'm more than willing to have with students if need be, but knowing that your GPA is the sole factor that we will be looking for as long as you have graduated. You will be admitted into our program. Now, the difference between the admission requirements for a first-year student versus a transfer student is that it can be a little bit different here with a transfer student. So a transfer student is defined as a student who has attended another institution. Now, the basic requirement that we are going to see here for admission is going to be a 2.0 cumulative GPA for your time that you've been studying in college. Now, if you have under 24 credit hours, you will also have to provide your high school transcript and meet the 2.7 GPA requirement. But if you have more than 24 college credit hours, all you have to do is provide your transcripts from the other institution that you're transferring from. So highlighting some of the required application documents for each of their prospective students. If you're a first-year student, you have to have your official high school transcripts or GED sent to the UC Office of Admissions. They ask that you do not email or fax them. They have to be sent officially from the school or the third-party source that the school would use. In terms of transfer students, same thing applies, except you will be wanting to get your official transcript sent over from any institution that you attended. So if you are marked as, completing a course or two at any college during any point, a common question that we get asked is, I went to college 25 years ago. Are my credits even going to be valuable? Do I need to even have that transcript sent? The short answer is yes, because you will still have to have it sent over to the UC in order to have a decision made on your application. In terms of having classes transfer in, it's going to be based upon the accreditation from the school, whether it's a regional or a nationally accredited institution, as well as figuring out whether or not the course is going to fit as a one-to-one compatibility with any of the courses offered within this program or any of the prereq courses to make sure that they're coming in as a one-to-one match. So it is a little bit of a different process than most students would be used to. They just want to, come in, figure out what's going to be transferring in. And the best advice that I can give you is start the application process and get in contact with an ESA such as myself, and we can walk you through the full process if need be. Some upcoming deadlines that we're going to have during our academic 2023 and 2024 year. The fall application deadline is going to be on July 1st. Spring deadline is going to be November 15th, and the summer deadline will be March 15th. Now, typically speaking, you can expect the deadlines to be around this time of year for each of the respective semesters that are going to be offered during our academic year. So we will offer courses for this program during the fall, spring, and summer semesters. So you'll be able to go through and work continuously if you would like without taking time off, or you do have the flexibility to take a semester off and get back into the program depending upon your situation. So making note of when classes begin. Traditionally, the fall starts are going to begin in August, spring is going to get kickstarted in January, and then summer classes will begin in May. Our total cost of tuition for this program in particular, if you are a resident of the state of Ohio, the cost per credit hour is going to be $549 per credit hour. If you are looking to join us from outside of the state of Ohio as a non-resident of the state, then it's $564 per credit hour. So usually in these conversations, the way that we break it down so you can get a rough estimate of what to expect for the total cost, it's just going to be taking the number of the cost per credit hour. So for example, if you're looking as an Ohio resident, that $549, and multiplying it by the number of credit hours that you're going to be attempting during each semester. So with a flexible ability to go through and take either part-time or full-time courses, it's going to be dependent upon how many total credits you take in each semester to get a rough idea of how much it is going to cost you. Right, so covering some financial aid and scholarship information, our online BA in organizational leadership can accept financial aid for those who qualify to receive aid. So this is a program that if you are looking to utilize, federal financial aid, private financial aid, different grants, whatever it fits into your spectrum that you're looking to pay for school, we are able to accept. any form of aid that you qualify for. This does also include the ability for part-time students to have the flexibility to utilize financial aid here. So within some schools, you won't always see that, where students will be able to come in and use financial aid even if they're completing it at a part-time pace. With this program, you do have the ability to do so. If you're eligible for military benefits, please contact your regional VA representative to determine if your benefits will cover the program. Each student is going to have a different situation. So we tend to lean more on the VA reps who are going to have the knowledge to be able to figure out whether or not your benefits are going to be fully covered here. And another thing that gets brought up a lot of the time is whether or not you're going to have to pay for the program in one lump sum. Here at the University of Cincinnati Online, we do have tuition payment plans that are available that you can split up your bill amongst 3 different payments if you choose to do so. And one other thing that I do want to highlight while we are going through financial aid and scholarship information is our University to Business Scholarship Program. So the University of Cincinnati Online Business Partnership offers a tuition scholarship to participating organizations. The scholarship is applicable to employees, their spouse or domestic partner, or dependents under the age of 25 to attend the University of Cincinnati with a scholarship that's going to come off of the top of tuition. So if you're interested in learning more about the University to Business Scholarship Program, or figure out if your employer is a partner or how to become a partner, please feel free to reach out to me directly, and I can get you pointed in the right direction of who is going to handle that moving forward. My contact information will be here at the end. So please feel free to reach out to me directly, and I can get you pointed in the right direction to discuss that further.
You know,
I
I think
have
one
some
of the
frequently asked questions here that we tend to see with the program, and Sean, I'll hand it over to you with the first one.
Oh yeah, no problem. I think that you know, obviously, what everybody wants to know is, once I get this degree, what can I do with it? How much money can I make? I think that's a very critical question that everyone should ask, in my opinion. Um, and so I think some of the top jobs out there that we see a lot of students going into are HR, human resource managers positions, marketing managers positions, fundraising manager positions, training and development manager positions. They're on the rise, and all those are typically once you get into that leadership role, once you're sitting in not the analyst role or the individual contributor role, but once you're in that manager, that supervisor, that real leadership position, those are all 6-figure jobs. Because they're going to rely on your expertise to understand how can we get better, how can we take a group of human resources personnel, and who's going to lead them. How do we take these marketing analysts and who's going to lead them? Who's going to take this bunch of 5 to 10 people, these graphic designers, the instructional designers? Who's going to lead them? And this is what this degree is going to put you in position to be in that front seat, leading as a manager or supervisor, and obviously obtaining that 6-figure salary that, you know, is kind of like the quintessential mark that a lot of people want to shoot for in the job market today. So and you're going to be, again, as you heard me talk about before, you're going to be learning from professors who are in these industries, who are in these fields, and can tell you, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to learn, this is how you need to apply it, this is how you make your cover letter better, this is how you're going to stick out from the rest of the crowd. And I think what ultimately is going to do it is, once they're going to see that UC logo on the bottom of your degree, that's really what's going to catapult you to have that success that you're looking for.
You know, Sean, you make some really great points, and I'm going to add something else. It's not unusual for me to hear. So a lot of the people that you'll be in classes with are really busy adults. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are professionals, and you start seeing the same people and you start interacting with them, and people actually start to network. Yep. They start to network with each other in the program. And I know that I've heard about students going, oh yes, you know, one of my teammates on this project said that they are looking for this particular job opportunity to be filled, and they recommended it to me, and I got the job. So, I mean, it's a very dynamic. There's so many really potential opportunities for anybody that's in this program. In addition, because, you know, we are busy adults, it's 100% online. So you do have that flexibility in terms of scheduling and which courses that you want to take when. And I do think it's really important. You said this too, that you have the UC emblem on there. You're a Bearcat. UC has a fine reputation. You know, it's not a, it's a research one institution. It has national recognition, and you're getting the same thing, the same education, the same courses, the same interaction that you would if you were in person on campus, taking the same courses as a traditional student.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here with some of the other questions that tends to get brought up. Big one, how easy is it to get enrolled in this program? This is a program that we try to make it as seamless as possible. With that one-to-one approach that I talked on earlier, with that full support system from the point of requesting information to graduation, that's what makes it easier to get through and get enrolled into this program. So if you're looking to get started, figure out, how the application works, how do I get my transcripts, where do I have them sent, how do I qualify for the program? All of those questions and different processes, you're going to be working with an enrollment service advisor such as myself. Up until that point, whenever you finally get that offer to join the program, you're excited to move forward. You want to figure out, what do I need to do in order to schedule the correct classes? I want to make sure I don't fall behind. I want to be as successful as I possibly can be. That is where our student success coordinators do come into play and are one of the, I would personally say, one of the most valuable pieces of the UCO team, knowing that you have that support system at all times and knowing that you're going to have someone that is with you every step of the way so that you don't feel alienated. That's one thing that I know throughout the pandemic, it was brought up for students that were forced to go DL that hadn't done it in the past, or students that are returning to school for the first time in 15 to 20 years and have never done online school. People always ask, am I going to be alone? Am I going to have to do this by myself? Am I going to have anyone that I can reach out to ask questions? Am I going to have to wait for 3 to 4 days to get a response via email of what I need to do next? And that's something that with UC Online, the way we operate, we try to just nip that in the bud right away and say, you are going to have this support system that is going to be there with you for the entire time, and make sure that you know that you're not a number, that you are an actual student who is returning back to college or continuing your education dependent upon your situation, so that you can better your situation and walk out of here as a more refined professional in whichever field you're looking at. So that is something that, it goes hand in hand with also the why should I choose UC Online, that other question that gets brought up, but a couple of other highlights there. It just noting that, this is an accredited university from the Higher Learning Commission. So all of our programs are going to be accredited. If you're ever, the question ever gets begged of if you are getting an accredited degree, it's taken care of here with UC Online. We have over 20 years of experience in online education. This is a program that has been offered. Is a program is going to continue to be offered and supported here with UC Online. And also, we're also ranked number 1 in Ohio and 16 nationally as an online college leader by thebestschools.org. So just a couple of, little highlights that we want to put the feather in the cap about UC Online, so that you know that you're receiving a quality education whenever you're comparing your options.
I love it that we have that national ranking of number 16 online schools. I'd like to see it go up, but hey,
That's
number 16 is, I don't know how many online programs there are, but that's pretty top. So, but one of the last questions we get a lot is, I get, what would you say to someone on the fence about enrolling in this program? And when I think about that, I think that there are several reasons that come up. Sometimes it's timing. I don't have the time. Sometimes it's money. And sometimes it's, well, maybe, is this the program for me? And so if I were going to say anything about timing, I'd say because it's part-time, you could say, okay, well, it's not the right time. We can always say that, but then you're just postponing. If you take a class once a semester, one class a semester, in 10 years, you'll have something to show for it. If you wait 10 years, you'll have nothing to show for it. So that might be, if you want that college degree, I would say try that. Just start with it. See if it works, how you can balance it out and maybe figure out a way to balance it. You can talk to other classmates. They are all having the same challenges that you are, believe me. Money, I think Jared mentioned that, there's financial aid scholarships, there's the other programs that are available. Maybe that could help you out, but he would be a great person to talk to and just see if that's something that will kind of remove any obstacle for you. And I think the other one is like, which program? So some people might be saying, gee, should I be a history major or should I be an org leadership major? Well, of course, we would say org leadership. But you're not losing anything by taking a couple courses. Those could probably count for elective courses in another major. So get started, take a sampling and see, yeah, maybe org leadership really is for you. Or maybe you decide you like communication better. That those courses are really more up your alley in terms of your professional goals. But I don't think you can go wrong with org leadership and professional goals.
All right, and as mentioned earlier, wanted to include our contact information here. If you are ready to discuss the program from just surface level, looking to move forward with application process, asking more direct questions about your specific situation, whether it be your educational background, hurdles that you've had to jump through, how to get started, that sort of thing, feel free to reach out to me directly. My email is listed here at the bottom, as well as we have the contact information here for both Dr. Nancy and Dr. Sean, that they have the open door policy, that if you want to reach out to them and ask more in-depth questions or that next level question about what to expect in the program, what can it do for you, and just have a conversation, they're also open to it as well. And we just want to say thank you for watching. Feel free to follow us online. Our links for Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn are listed here to the right. But thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to view this video. And I also want to say thank you to Dr. Sean and Dr. Nancy for meeting with me this morning to go through and discuss the program in depth.